Welcome to the Wedco podcast, your ultimate guide to the wedding world. Whether you're a bride, groom, or wedding vendor, this is the place to be. Join us as we dive into real stories, expert advice, and behind-the-scenes insights to help you plan the perfect day. So grab a seat and let's celebrate love, connection, and creativity together. Before we get into this episode, I'd love to ask you a super quick and easy favor. If you're enjoying the Wedco podcast, please hit that follow button on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. It might seem small, but it makes a huge difference in helping the podcast grow and means I can keep bringing on amazing vendors to share their insights with you. Thank you so much for your support. It truly means the world. Hello and welcome to the Wedco podcast. I'm Toga, and today I have the boys from More Life on the couch with me. Thank you so much for coming on, boys.
No, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
No, it's same thing. I say it like I ask people, who do we need on the show? And there's a lot of people looking towards you guys for like setting the standard for films at the moment. So yeah, really appreciate you taking the time to come down as well. It's really good.
No, stoked. Yeah, happy to be here. Looking
Awesome.
forward to it.
No, absolute pleasure. Stoked to be on.
So yeah, usually we'll kind of start with, I guess, a rundown of, how the brand came to be, how long you've been in the industry and kind of how it's evolved to the point where More Life Films is now.
Amazing. Well,
Yeah, so I guess kicking off, essentially I've been filming sort of since school days, just sort of the old pick up the camera and see how you go. And sort of Elliot and I sort of like I was doing sort of commercial work and filming weddings. Sort of, when you're younger, you family friend, you film sort of thing. So sort of just like, oh, yep, can come film weddings. And it sort of went from there. And I was sort of working full time and did a few weddings here and there, and also doing a bit of commercial work. And randomly one weekend, guy who was shooting a wedding with me one day was like, I can't come. His wife was expecting a baby pretty soon. So he essentially said, I'll film the ceremony, but I can't do the reception because I've got to get home. And another guy who I was surfing with at the time, sort of prior, the week before, was just like, oh, there's this young guy. He's like super keen. He's shooting skating. He's really, really good. Like he's really keen to do some more work. And it was Elliot. So I literally texted Elliot like midday, like this guy was like shot the ceremony. Then he was like, I've got to go. I can't shoot the reception. I was just like, oh, what am I going to do? It was like a 200-person Macedonian wedding. And I was like,
I was a young frother.
I was like,
shooting skating, and
Yeah.
my first ever event, I would almost say, was walking into a 200-person Macedonian wedding at Newcastle Town Hall with zero film experience, having never met John.
He literally turns up with his glide cam and a Canon 60D and says, what do you want me to do? and then like a week later, we were shooting like a car rally event, and like the next month, and the same guy was like, I can't commit to anything anymore, newborn. So I said, Elliot, want to come along? And literally that's how we went from there. And we were shooting weddings, and then on and off. And this is sort of like 2014, so like 10 years ago now.
Yeah, John's a touch older than I am, so he was filming on tape days, so he's got a lot of history and a lot of knowledge behind a camera.
Yeah,
and then I just came in as a full grown, just figuring out like, what is this whole scene? And John's pretty much taught me everything I know as far as filming, which has been pretty exciting.
Yeah. So then we sort of went from there, and then basically I sort of with Chelsea at the same time, and then it got to like 2017. She's like, I was working full time and filming like 20 weddings a year, and it's just like it was a lot. And she said, like, you've got to do it, like you've just got to make the plunge and go full time. And we just quit the job, and Elliot and I basically. We booked, I feel like the week after I quit the job, like everything just fell into place for us, and we sort of started booking weddings more consistently. And then Chelsea come on board full time around 2019. And I feel like, she's really like sort of taken us to where we are now in terms of just having that different dynamic. And she's really got a really nice creative eye, and sort of keeps Elliot and I in check, really.
So what does Chelsea do? Like, is she shooting in the company as well? Or?
Yeah. So she had no background in filming or anything like that before she met me, but she sort of picked up a camera around that 2019, 2020, early 2020 mark, and she shoots. Basically between Elliot and her, I shoot most of our weddings, and then Elliot and her I split the second shooting. Elliot shoots with me something like half, and Chelsea will shoot the other half. And then from time to time, Elliot will go into a job with a network of other second
You
shooters.
can
that we
tell
have.
John's a good
So-
teacher.
Yeah,
He
Everyone-
taught me how to shoot weddings, what they are, everything about it. But then certainly taught Chelsea how to shoot, and she's just like excelled. And it's awesome. It's really cool to
Yeah.
see. Like we shot probably 300 weddings together before Chelsea started, and like the rate at which Chelsea has sort of grown into a filmer, and like the way she looks at stuff, coming in fairly fresh into the scene, and just like this whole new sort of avenue, and going, hey, just here's a camera. Elliot can't be here today, or Elliot's away, or we can't book him. Go shoot, and just seeing what she comes back with is pretty cool. And she's
really
really
threw her into the deep end with a lot of things, because she often goes, "You never trained me." I'm like, "No, but she's got a really, really good eye." And she also like culls all that footage. So she's done that for years before she sort of come on full time shooting as well. So she really knew how we shoot in our style, and she really guided us as well in different directions on what like advises me with editing and things like that as well. She also does all our social media and emails, and she's basically our first point of contact as well. So she's a very big part of the team.
Because I find like that is the way. There's a lot of guys that have been doing this for a long time, and this is how I film. I was speaking to a few other filmers up in Byron, and same thing. Like, but then they'll have like say a wife or a business partner is like, no, but you need to include this footage in the reels. Like it's all about, okay, we're going to zoom into this and we're going to pan up here and do this. Whereas all he wants to do is a slow cinematic, and he loves that. But she's like, no, this is where the market is now. And like without that team member, they would never have pushed into that market as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you're describing Chelsea.
Yeah.
No, she's pretty.
She's on the pulse. Chelsea is absolutely on the pulse, and it's really cool to see.
Nothing ever gets delivered without her like watching it. So she reviews everything that I edit basically, and sneak peeks to full films. She's basically, and her and I collaborate on music and everything like that. And she's really, really good. Don't know what we'd do without her, to be honest.
So like, so do you have 2 filmers at every one of your weddings?
Yep.
Why?
We've always had 2. Basically, just logistically is probably one of the main strong points. Is I'm someone who loves to shoot and just loves to shoot anything and everything on the day. So like, I love having a camera in my hand and just being able to basically capture anything and everything. We've always found with the 2 of us, we have the ability to sort of cover everything from the start of the day to the end of the day really well. There's always one of us capturing any given sort of event on the day. So a good example is like prep. So like usually if we've got bride prep, or one of the partners is basically one of us can be at the ceremony setting up, do all that sort of setup, so set the audio and everything up. The other one can stay at prep and shoot basically right up until they really, really need to leave, whilst the other one's out there sort of getting shots of guests arriving, one of the partners arriving to the ceremony, and sort of just getting those little in-between shots that if you're by yourself, I've shot weddings by myself before, and to be honest, I just find having the 2 of us it makes an easier day for us, but also for the couple. We just get so much more footage that we can utilize in the edit. And also with the edit, the other side of it is we just be able to get the ability to be able to, get different angles and things like that. Ceremony is a good one. We always have like a different angle of like, the entries and the exits and things like that.
There's so many pinch points throughout the day. And I feel like, like John said, we've both filmed so many weddings solo, and you have that moment where and I guess from a creative perspective, you might be filming the couple exit down the aisle, and you just go, man, that would be a good shot from there. And I think we've had enough of those moments throughout the day that you go, you know what? And John sort of set that standard from a very early day. Like, I've never shot a more life wedding that isn't with John or isn't with 2 people. Even, everything we do is a 2, but just because there are so many of those moments where you just look and you go, I wish there was another one of me here standing over there in somewhere else shooting it. And I think, the gear side of things, video is very gear heavy, and you don't really want it to be gear heavy. You want all that to feel seamless, and you don't ever want to see the couple seeing you move a tripod around or rushing. Like, I guess that pre-ceremony, if you're at bride prep right up until the ceremony, and then all of a sudden you're running down the aisle with a tripod to quickly set something up, and you're lapelling the groom as he's sort of standing up waiting for the bride to come down. You're like, let's just ease into the day. And I think we both then enjoy the day, and you just feel so much more comfortable filming it. You don't feel rushed, and that reflects on the way you look and the way you sort of produce the content as well,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah, just makes it much more. Yeah, I feel for the couple, like in terms of, yeah, at the end they see footage that they're not necessarily there at part of in the day as well. So if they have to go for portrait shoot, often one of us will hang at cocktail hour if time's limited, so we can get more of that sort of footage. One of us can go shoot details of the reception, while the other one's sort of with the couple and hanging around. There's so many little moments throughout the day that we love to have in our films that if you're just not if you've got to be off, yeah, as Elliot said, setting things up and moving logistics and like doing logistics and things like that, you're just not going to get that footage. So having the two of us there has always made that difference.
Even
Yeah.
though they're saying like when the brides walk down the aisle and you're kind of in the middle of the aisle and you're locked off because you just want to make sure those tripods are like something's in focus, and like
Yeah.
just having the two of you and just like that good, like yeah, that's good, okay,
Yeah,
cool,
exactly.
I can relax
exactly.
a little
We've
bit.
developed such like a silent, fun language, I think, as well. Like we've worked together for so long now that it's just a simple glance, and it's like you just look at him, look at John, or John looks at me, and it's like, oh yeah, you go check the camera's still recording, or just like you just hold your hand up to your ear, and it's like, oh cool, yeah, he's gonna go check audio, and it's like just having that and not having to miss a moment because now you're thinking about, oh, is the audio recording or is the backup running? Yeah, that's super nice.
Yeah, for sure. It's just you can get by yourself, but
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
never ideal. Like
Yeah.
and that's like we talked about like setting up tripods for a ceremony, and then grandma's arrive and she's hugging the groom, and you're like, I need to set up the tripod, but
Yeah.
like,
All
but
of a sudden
also
you gotta
this,
decide.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
you got to make a decision on what is more important at that moment. And often by the time, if you were halfway through doing something, by the time you pick the camera up and hit record focus, you're like that moment's passed anyway. So, yeah, I've always been very, very firm on having two of us there, and we've always included two shooters in everything that we do.
Yep. All right, so I know you're different to this, so I'm just going to put this out there. So what I sell my couples on is I suck at editing, I suck at color, I suck at audio. So I've got a team that I've built out overseas and they look after that.
Yep.
You very much pride yourself, like, and definitely the weddings you do, you can tell like there's the filmers who are super artistic, and you can tell everything goes into that wedding edit and everything goes into the wedding, which is very much where your camp is.
Yeah.
Why am I wrong the way I do it? Like I want, like, what's your selling point? Like why should couples book you?
Yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. Like, I will 100% stand by that because um, having external editing is like, yeah, if you can get editing to do it, yeah, great. Like, but I've another one of those things that I guess I'm stuck in my ways a little bit, but I love editing and I love shooting. I love doing it. Literally love doing both of it. And we always tell couples that we're only a small team. We're a team of three, and then as I said before, we have like a few second shooters that we call upon if we've got two weddings on one day. So Elliot will go and I'll go with Chelsea. But basically, Chelsea and I handle all of our post production. We always have. So
I have this really beautiful role at Moolah Films that I second shoot all the weddings. So since that very first Macedonian wedding I shot, I second shoot, I turn up on the day, I give 100%, and then I hand over the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I live in a world where it feels like those films that I've filmed do get
turn into magic. Like
do get edited externally,
Yeah.
and that person is John.
Yeah.
And like, to be honest, it's quite fun because it does allow me to put 100% energy into the day, because obviously the prep for a wedding, the wedding day, and then obviously the post production is such a mental drain as well. Like, John absolutely loves it, but it can be a lot in terms of just volume. So being a shooter, I can definitely just turn up on every day and just give 100%. And I feel like it takes a little bit of the edge off Johnny to be like, hey man, I'm here. Like, this is all I'm thinking about today. You can think about the post production later, but for me, I can just sort of smash in and do the day. Yeah, and then I almost get a fun little preview teaser when the bride gets there, or the bride or the groom or the couple or whoever it is gets their film. I get to sort of say, oh, my shot made the cut. Yeah, there it is. Nice. Like, I get this little teaser because like I love watching like the edits that John creates and the way he creates them. And we've had this chat, and like I myself can't even just recreate what John creates. So like I'm probably the closest person that John could technically outsource to. Obviously I'm at More Life, but I'm the closest person and I can't even get close. And like I film all the footage. So yeah, it's probably been that just John's, the way he edits, I don't know how to recreate it. It's just too good.
It's the grind. It's the grind. Sitting in front of the computer screen and just sort of I don't know. I've always I love the editing. I love the process. I really love developing the couple story. I love getting to know the couple from when they initially inquire with us. So as I said, Chelsea handles the initial inquiry, but if they have a call, like I'm the person that jumps on the call with the couple. We book them in. I just love getting to know them throughout the whole process, getting who they know who they are, and then really shooting on the day. I find we really get a good personal connection. We've always been one of our highest, biggest values in shooting weddings is really having good relationships with the couple, the family, the guests, anyone and everyone at the wedding, and capturing everyone as part of that celebration and bringing that all together in the edit, knowing I was there. I feel, I just feel like I've got a really good grasp of sort of
Yeah,
how
who
the
they
day
are.
felt and
Yeah.
who they are. And being when I deliver the film, I feel like we can give them a really, really good perspective of sort of who they are as people at that point in time. So when they watch it back in years to come, they can go, wow, like we this is who we are. This is what our wedding was about, and it really reflects them. And they can like sort of look back and be fond and proud. And yeah, it's for if they've got kids or the other family members in years to come, they get a really good idea of who they are as people in that point in time as well.
I think
So yeah,
coming back to your question in terms of right or wrong, yeah, I certainly don't think it's wrong. Like
no,
I run my own film business as well, and we have editors that do other work for us. And I think if you can find an editor that you're stoked on, their work is like to a point where you're happy with it, the couple's happy with it, then I think it's definitely an avenue to
yeah,
go down.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, just with us, yeah, we're only small. Like we only do a limited number of weddings a year as well. So um, the editing, as much as it does, we have a constant queue of editing, but we spend the time we need to on every single edit. And like myself and Chelsea will make sure that, every edit gets treated with the care and passion that it deserves. And when we send it, we're confident knowing that our couples are going to love our films. So, yeah.
I'm just trying to work out um, the obviously photo video is huge at
Yeah.
the moment. You guys are really good at what you do. I'm trying to work out like how do you find the competition. I'm kind of mid market, I would say,
Yeah.
and so it's actually quite easy. 95% of my jobs are photo video, but they're also not like the couples I get aren't looking for the high quality that you guys provide. So it's how do you differentiate yourself? Like we do films, this is what we do. We do everything, limited numbers. How do you differentiate yourself from all the studios now that are doing photo and video?
Um, just trying to keep putting out good work. Really.
Yeah, I think at that point
Um,
you're just relying on the work to speak for itself, I guess.
Yeah, we like yeah, we're not huge on social media either. We're not like massive share like we don't share heaps on social media. We're kind of a bit quieter compared to some people, I guess. But we like to share quality, and we like to think that our couples you know word of mouth and relationships within the wedding industry is I think is sort of the backbone of most successful wedding vendors, really. Yeah, basically, yeah, as I said, just keep trying to do really, really good work. Trying to always do something new, innovate with our shooting, and trying to not sort of rest on our laurels, and try and just continually improve. Really is
Yeah, I
what we've
think
always tried to do.
the innovation's been a pretty exciting. I mean, we've now been filming weddings for 10 years, and like the industry's changed so much in the last 10 years, and I think it's been interesting to see where it goes. And I mean, yeah, seeing the different work we put out, and sort of then where the industry goes, and sort of either keep trying to keep ahead of that. It's quite exciting to John is constantly testing me to try new things, which is cool. And I think as a second shooter, it sort of gives. I mean, maybe another reason why we have a second shooter, it gives that person a little bit of freedom to be creative. Instead of just documenting the day. I think if you're just documenting the day, like that's great. But I love if I'm filming, I go, hey Johnny, I've got this scene covered. Go have fun. Like go get some shots of the couple's going to see and go, wow, where was he? How did he get that shot? Like it's a up on the balcony shot, looking down over the ceremony that the couple just wouldn't even thought of, or little moments throughout the day where, yeah, having that second person, you go get creative, innovate, have fun, and really set the standard for maybe that next film that comes out in a couple of months' time.
Yeah, and just it's a tough market. Like as you know, like the wedding industry. There's lots of weddings. There's lots of weddings go around. There's different market segments for everyone, and I just think um, if as long as we are continually trying to do new things and keep pushing ourselves with our work and putting out good work, I like to think that we'll continually attract couples that sort of want to book us for just video. And we work with lots of different photographers. We work with different photographers all the time, but we do work with a lot of the same photographers who just do photo.
Yeah, I
So
think while it's not
um,
directly a package that they're booking
yeah,
photo video, I think a lot of our couples that possibly see us work alongside a different photographer, they again love that their mate who was that couple got some amazing photos, amazing videos, and they essentially book us more or less as a
yeah,
package. Yeah.
yeah. They'll look at it's, who was on a certain wedding together, and certain photographers we were often booked on weddings together. And I think my biggest thing in couples like being video focused and working with photographers who are only photo focused is that couples really do their research and pick a photo team and a video team that really worked well together and the styles are in sync and matched. I guess when you got a photo video combination, that's naturally going to happen because they work together all the time. But generally, most of our couples through the photographer they book and then us, they can sort of see the coloration in the work as well. Naturally, it sort of just happens that way. So that's as I said, we often work with similar photographers, but we're happy to work with anyone and everyone really, and we're always really good at building relationships with photographers. Some of our best friends in the industry are photographers. So yeah,
I still believe that. Like, obviously, all my work is photo video, but I still feel like if you're going to be at the top of the game, and I was a couple looking for photo and video, I'd feel like the best just do photo, and the best just do video. Like, I don't think as good as you get at doing both, if you guys like this is what we do, I think it's almost just implied by the couple that it has to be better because we're just doing video.
Yeah, I think there's definitely aspects of that. And like we work with a lot of teams that do photo video. And I mean, one of their biggest strong points is obviously that, they work together a lot. But yeah, I'd absolutely rest on the fact that because we just solely do video, that is the focus. So
yeah.
yeah.
So what is a typical wedding? Or are they also different that you couldn't really have a typical like what's a wedding that More Life film at the moment? What does that kind of look like these days?
To be honest, they're getting
It's been a fun few years.
it's been a fun few weeks. I've noticed weddings getting less structured. To be honest,
Yep.
less structured is what I've found with a lot of the weddings that we're shooting. So, a lot of the weddings that we're shooting, it's it's obviously most weddings have still got a prep ceremony, after ceremony, cocktail hour, reception, but the actual in terms of the day itself, that like there's a timeline and a run sheet, but like in terms of the actual structure of the day, it's a lot more free flowing. There's the ceremony usually has the set time, but after that, it's like with portrait shoots and things like that. It's very much so. The couples are very involved. Most of our couples are very very much involved with. They want to be part of the cocktail. They want to be part of the celebration. They want to be around their guests. So it's a matter of for us, it's really working around what the couple want to do in the afternoon rather than opposed to the timings. In terms of like strict timings, it's more so okay. Let them be at cocktail hour for an hour. Let's grab them from a little 5 minutes here with the photographer, like coordinating, like we're sorry, working together with the photographer in terms of timings and things, and the wedding planner generally, and just sort of communicating like, okay, let's grab the couple here for 5 minutes, the wedding party here for five
A lot of
minutes, and
a
shoot
lot of
a lot of
smaller moments.
spontaneous, small spontaneous sort of moments and things like that. And I found most of our weddings are really, really based around the celebration after, throughout the whole day. It's just go, go, go. We sort of don't really stop filming, and there's always heaps to shoot. Yeah.
So was there like a significant point? You've been doing this for 10 years now. 10 years? 2014?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there like a significant point that you felt your business just elevated within, a 6-month period or something where it just kind of like, this is where we want to be, and it just kind of got to that point?
There was one wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a pretty fun one. A close friend of ours, and actually is a part owner in this venue. I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like no, we did film one wedding. It was for a close mate, Angus Harper, and Jess Fascioni. She's a radio presenter on a radio here in Newcastle. But there was definitely a period around, I feel like, that wedding. We went and filmed it and just had an absolute ball. And the clip was just incredible. And John just outstanding. Just put some amazing work into that. And I think for me, as far as from a filming perspective, I feel like that was a really cool change point. Where either the couples we were booking or just the style of wedding that we were getting, that felt like a bit of a transformational moment where John and I we really invested some time in that wedding. Like we were there, like they booked like a 12-hour package. It was probably the longest day we'd shot. I remember
Yeah.
at like 11:30, we were just staring at each other after like, and like if you've
Uh,
ever
uh,
watched that film, like there was a lot that went on, and we were just rallying to the end. There was like an 11:30 past the wheel, and we were just like, we're so
yeah.
done, but keep filming, like
Yeah.
don't stop, man.
I
And
remember we had a wedding
we
the
had a full
next day too.
pre-production plan. We had a full pre-production meeting with Angus. Like he runs festivals here in Newcastle, and whether or not that was the moment, I feel like that was for me definitely a point where it was like, all right, weddings are parties.
Yeah.
Like there's it's more than just a day to get married. Like this is people celebrating like a pretty epic moment.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what. Yeah. I think that wedding really embodies where it definitely set the tone and direction for what we create and what we like to film, and what we enjoy about a wedding. And I guess I really got a good, like, a couple of years before that I got married. Chelsea and I got married, so I got a pretty good perspective then of what a wedding means personally. And I've always been, it's a bit of a cliche thing that gets said in a lot of speeches, but a wedding's only, like, it's one of the only times in your life where you're going to have all your closest there at one moment. And I can certainly say personally that's never happened again for us. So, like, we had like 90 at 80 or 90 at our wedding, and I'd never had that group of people in a room together again. So, um, being there on the day and, like, really running around getting anyone and everyone on camera, and really getting as many people on the camera really is sort of what we've always aimed. And Jess and Angus's wedding was definitely one of those days where we knew a lot of people as well, which was helpful because we
I knew a
sort of
lot
run
of
around.
people.
We really fit in really well that day, and but that really set the tone for where we are now. And like, it changed our editing. We really actually, that complete edit
but I
was
think
like
knowing
something new
people,
for us. So we just went from there and developed our style a bit more, and that was like 2021, that wedding. So yeah.
I think knowing people on the day though, while like I was quite close with maybe half the group. I've worked in the industry with a lot of them before. Sam was there. Like there was just a lot of people that we knew. And I think that was quite a cool moment where I was like, okay, we do know all these people. This is great. But why don't we take that energy into a wedding where we don't know everyone, but treat it as though we do? Like
Yeah.
turn up and be people that want to know everyone, and like really set yourself as like more like a guest, like where people are so comfortable around you that they're just happy to be a part of it. Be in the film, be engaged. And I think that wedding was probably the first one where it was like, hey, like people are here to have fun. Like if you just get comfortable with them and make them feel comfortable, and all of a sudden like the footage we were getting from that point onwards, and certainly like weddings before that, but I think that transition point, the footage we were getting, like couples and guests were just so involved and so happy to be a part of it. And it's like, oh, these can be really fun days. Like really, and just push that narrative of excitement, happy, stoke.
That's so cool because like, it just feels like it kind of set your style, but it makes it easier for you because you're like, we can just be a part of this,
Yeah.
and just like embody this day. And like you said, be a guest at this. Like it's very easy to kind of put up the professional wall where I'll still have fun on the day, but I'll kind of keep this professional between it as well. But like, I can see all your films, like you are in it, like you're in amongst it. And
Yeah.
it's like, and it's now it's kind of self-perpetuating where your couples are expecting that. So it's like now you're like, this is what we do,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I remember the first wedding, like on when we did a rebrand for the website. John put down like that I like solo because I don't drink, and just like we rocked up to a wedding and a couple had bought a 30 case of solo for me. And they just like they put it in the prep for the boys. They're like, hey Elliot, we've got solo on the bar just because you want it. I was like, this is awesome. Like, and I feel like that sort of embodied our attitude in going into weddings, and couples sort of attitude back towards us. They're like, hey, like they're investing money into this day. And it's nice to see that they value us being there, but also it's cool that we can give that back to them. And sort of if we are in that whatever tier we're in, and those couples invest that money, that like they're going, no, we want this. Like this is definitely worth every cent because the effort we put in. And I turn up, give 100% on the day, and I enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I feel like you might in the past you kind of have your work weddings, and then you have your weddings that were like, these are sick, like these are the weddings I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
And so like I kind of get to this point, I've been doing it 13 years as well, and you're like, I'm kind of ready to be a part of the event rather than kind of not that couples make you feel like the help, but I'm kind of over that part.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you guys like you're never the help. You're kind of like you are amongst it and part of it. So it's like even the longevity within the industry, you can only keep doing this for so long
Yeah.
if it feels like work.
Yeah.
So even like just I guess you guys having that and it isn't work, like you can tell the passion that you guys have that it just kind of keeps the longevity going as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we certainly, one of the things Elliot and I and Chelsea and I often when we're in the car, like when we're driving to a wedding, like we sort of just we really just brainstorm and just bounce ideas a lot of the time. Like just in December, like Elliot and I were driving to a wedding in Tamworth, and like we didn't. I don't know that we had music on the whole day because we were just like literally just like talking about like different things we were shooting, different things we are doing, things with the edits and weddings that we'd shot and what was cool and what we were going to try and doing different things. We literally, I think it was like we're in the car for like 3 hours on the way up, and we're just like got there and like holy shit that trip went quick. We're literally
Yeah,
just
4 hours of just
chatter the
stoke.
whole way, just like stoking, stoked, just chatting about it. And then like when I'm with Chelsea, she's less gear talk, more more people talk, like talking about like the style and things like that. So and yeah, we're always trying new things, and she's often asking me, what can we do here? What should we do here? And then she's like, oh, what if we try this or do something like that? So we're always, as I said before, like it's just about trying to keep it fresh and new and yeah, just really turn up and have a good time. Yeah.
How do you go about that? Like finding new, like staying creative and kind of trying to find new ways to film. How do you go about that?
Um, Look, in all honesty, we don't really plan too much before a wedding day. Like I say to, I openly will say to our couples, like, we've got your run sheet, but like, and send us anything, ideas or anything you want to do, like it's any style of film that you like, you prefer over others. But I openly will say, like, we try not to like go into a wedding with any preconceived ideas at all. It might be at the same venue we'd shot at like 2 weeks before or something like that, but like we'll always shoot everything on the day, like even like venue shots and B-roll and things like that. Every wedding for us, I see it as like a reset point. It's new, the couple are new, it's their story, like everything about that wedding day is for that couple. And we always, that's where like, if there's something that we see that we've done before, or we've done it a few times, we'll just change it up for a bit of fun. Really, just
I think
mix it up.
it's amazing as well though. Like you can go to the same venue, have 90% of the same vendors there, and you still leave at the end of the day going, man, I feel like that was something completely new.
Yeah.
Like, and like there's that danger, I think, for a couple, or I guess for someone that's maybe over being in the wedding industry, that they just then start to rehash, and you can go back to the same venue and shoot it in the same way, and every couple that they film might get the same film. And there's maybe that danger when, yeah, you're booking a lot of the same vendors. But I think, yeah, the way we approach it is certainly um, to go in with fresh ideas and just have a different approach to it. But it still amazes me that we can shoot the same venue a 1 week apart and then walk away from it and go, that feels like a completely different day. And that couple just had such different energy, and it might be high energy, or it might just be super chill and like everyone was just super relaxed and it just felt really loving. And yeah, you sort of forget which venue you're at because it doesn't really matter. Like you're focusing on the story of the couple.
Yeah, and we think we'll shoot everything on the day. Like as I said before, like I love to have a camera in my hand. I just love filming, and Elliot's the same. We just love shooting and like being able to capture it all. And we might come away with way too much footage, which
My
we
bad.
often do. Yeah.
Sorry, Chelsea.
Yeah.
If you're
100%.
listening.
Chelsea's often color and footage. She's like, why did Elliot film this? I'm like, I don't know, but
Just in case.
enjoy. But yeah, like as long as we capture everything on the day, as much anything and everything, and you capture all the dialogue from the ceremony and the speeches and anything else that we can pick up throughout the day, like audio grabs that we can potentially use that in the film. I always find the magic of a wedding film is really brought together in the edit. We've got a certain style of shooting, but like I think being able to tell a couple story like just with no script, just with what you've been captured on the day, or sometimes you might do an interview with a couple, but there's usually no script with that either. You're just asking them questions like you're asking us here. So like there's no like dialogue to like refer back to when you're actually shooting it. So like having just stuff that you've like words that you've captured on the day, and then bringing that in and crafting it into a story about the couple. Like I think it's like my favorite part, and I love it, and I just think it's really powerful medium for us as videographers. I think it's like, yeah, it's
I'll be
awesome,
honest here.
awesome gig.
It is very exciting seeing the films come out. Like I was there and I'm watching it and going, "Oh, you shot this one with Chelsea." I was like, "No, you were there." I was like, "How did you make it look like?" Man, my footage looks good.
I'm crushing it.
Absolutely. I'm like, yeah, I'm like halfway through there and I'm like, man, I can't remember my like angles looking that nice. He's like, no, that's my shot.
Like, I think, yeah, adding all the different formats as well. Like, are you guys adding in like kind of the camcorder footage and the Super 8 and stuff like that? Is that kind of what you guys do too?
Yeah, well, Chelsea and I, like, our wedding was in 2019, and I had one of my old handy cams from when I first started, like, on shooting surfing back at school, and we just gave it to our friends to run around, and one of my mates just like shot heaps of stuff on it, and then at our wedding we had the Super 8, and we kind of like after that, like, we just sort of just like put it aside for a few years. Like, we had the Super 8 from time to time, but the Handycam kind of just got forgotten about. I was like, oh, we should bring that out, and all of a sudden, like,
Gone
content creators,
ham.
content creators, and everyone's adding handycam stuff, and I'm like, wow. So we've from time to time we'll throw it in there, and it's not like something that we book out. It's more something that's like if we think it's going to suit a certain type of wedding, we'll just have it there and we'll shoot some stuff on it. Super 8 we do add, it's like optional extra for us. So we, obviously you got to buy film and things like that. So love shooting Super 8. It's always good, and it's a good little, as you know, it's like a little fun little thing to shoot, and it adds like a really vintage, nice retrospective.
I was
point of
just
view on the
reflecting
film.
my Instagram profile picture is me holding the Super 8 camera at John's wedding. Yeah, I was just like, I was looking at it yesterday, it's like black and white. I was like, what am I holding? Oh, I've got a Super 8 camera. It's literally
Yeah.
Reese who shot some stills. It was at one of the weddings, but
Yeah.
I've got a Super 8, and I'm like, oh, cool, love that.
It's so cool. And like, 'cause even when the weddings I'll do, there's even like the bride, same thing, giving to all the bridesmaids, like, here's the handy cam, like,
Yeah,
just walk
yeah.
away. And it's not necessarily part of the film that we're creating, but just for them to have, and
Yeah.
like just passing around to friends. And rather than having the Polaroid cameras where everyone just goes to the toilets and takes like random shitty photos, like it's actually like,
What do you
good
mean? They're
footage.
amazing photos.
It's just like actual good footage.
And
that
they
people
keep them
wanna see.
anyway.
Yeah.
Like they don't even put them in the book. They
Yeah.
just take them home.
I guess like going on to like a couple's perspective, if someone's looking for like a really high quality videographer and they're kind of just starting out their search, is there any like little tips that you could kind of give to a bride and groom, a couple looking for that service?
Morelife.com.
Stop there. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can definitely go down certain avenues, but like always, like if you're working with a wedding planner, often they'll have some recommendations and things like that, or often if they find a photographer, they'll have some recommendations as well. But if you want to just openly look, I guess my main tip to any couple looking for a videographer is go beyond the Instagram profile, look at the website, look at the full length films. So look what you're actually going to be getting delivered as your wedding film. Yeah, like I love our preview, like editing the preview films, and we like we share some preview films and things like that. But we really pride ourselves on our full length films, and we always have, and I think we always will. And that's where like we tell the couple story really in depth.
Yeah, and
that's why I think you just sorry.
No, I was going to
Yeah.
say, and that might be more important to some couples than others.
Others, yeah.
And I think that full length film, certainly for me, is that one that that's the one you look back at, because it's like it might be your dad passed away and you get to hear him speak and like he's told your whole life story and that. And those little aspects that really bring together, I guess, your life in the full length film. The previews and the sort of short reels and that, they're fun and they're instantaneous and you can get them quickly. But then that more crafted story with which what we specialize in and what we sort of value ourselves doing is definitely
I'd honestly just say look at what you're actually going to be getting and make sure you're happy with if you value the preview film more than the full length film, that's awesome. But if you want to look at the full length film, if you're going to value that, like look at both aspects and pick a videographer that really aligns with your style and your values. I know that we're not for everyone. Like not every couple want to book us. They've got other videographers that they know and love, and that's okay. There's a videographer out there for everyone, and don't be afraid to sort of dig deep and have a look around. But we are here.
So do a lot of your work come through planners?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of our bookings sort of the last couple of years have been through wedding planners, but obviously couples do book us directly as well. Yeah.
Is that something new? Like with the whole planner piece, I feel maybe the last 5 years as they've kind of really grown. Like there are more planners in
Yeah.
Australia. It used to be kind of thing over in the States or Europe or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. There are more planners that we find that we're working with now. Well, pretty much all the weddings that we shoot now have got a wedding planner at them.
Some
And coordinate.
aspect or some
Yeah,
coordinator, some level of
coordinating
planning.
the most basic aspect, sort of coordinating the day. But most of the weddings that we shoot, they're sort of full planning and styling, and we're sort of communicating directly with the wedding planner as well as the couple leading up to the day. So, um, which is great because we get a really good perspective and overview of what the wedding's really going to look like and how it's going to feel beforehand.
Yeah, and I maybe just answering your question before, what does a more life wedding look like? Like, there are definitely some grander aspects to some of the weddings we're shooting for sure. Not every wedding, and some of the weddings that are through a planner, there's a lot of pretty wild elements in there, and you sort of from face value you go, there, this is going to be a pretty wild day. And I think some planners plan some pretty epic days, and others, we just have like a broad spectrum of couples that we get through.
Apart from good work, which is a given, is there anything that you're proactively doing to get on like in front of these planners, or has it been pretty organic just from your films just getting shared?
Yeah, it's initially, yeah, it was sort of our films getting shared and things like that. We've yeah we've yeah they sort of yeah Instagram was I'd say was a big part initially with how people would find our work, but I think just having relationships with planners and different working on different weddings and sort of just basically chatting to them and being good,
It's just being good people.
being good
Yeah, yeah,
people.
yeah, fully.
Yeah,
Really, yeah,
like easy to work
so,
with.
yeah,
Like
he's been,
obviously
yeah,
seeing like, good feedback from couples. I mean, like ideally, the essence of being a decent person on the day, being easy to work with, producing good work. Like they're probably the three tiers that you want to go into any event or wedding with. So I guess it's probably just been hopefully,
yeah,
hopefully a reflection of those three things. And I guess wedding planners, they're also booking people that the couple like, love, and want to work with, but also people that are going to work well in a team and those environments, especially on some bigger weddings where there's quite a bit involved and you got a little bit of like a bit of organization to do. And I think a lot of the planners we work with appreciate, like the effort we put into it. And for sure.
Even from like a couple's point of view, I think like even the weddings that you've already done is like the proof. Like, okay, cool, we're spending $100,000 or $200,000 on this event. It's not even so much the amount of money that they're paying you. It's just like the confidence to know that you can handle that type of event as
yeah,
well. So it's almost like the proof of you've already worked with this planner or you've already worked at these venues is almost like a massive tick straight away.
yeah.
So yeah, I just always thought about that. Like, is it building up to like kind of planners that kind of work at a lower end and then kind of slowly stepping up, or is it just just coming in and getting
Yeah,
in the right
it's a
venue?
funny one. It's sort of for us. I don't know where the point changed where we ended up with more bookings through planners than couples directly. But I certainly noticed a shift in the last couple of years for us anyway. And yeah, we've built up relationships with a network of different planners that we like to work with and that recommend us. And we will always do the best work we can for any couple. But as Elliot said, that it's a good thing that the planners know that they've got trust and value the videographer that they're booking. So that's what we like.
I think the important thing as well is a lot of the planners we work with, it's a recommendation. So
Yeah,
it's still, hey, go check out these three videographers' work. And I think ultimately it's still on the couple to go, hey, this is the people that we want to go with. And then it's that our work speaks for itself, I hope.
yeah.
Like, what does life look like for more life moving forward from here?
So yeah, essentially we've got like basically we've got another good big nice year booked.
Love it.
This year's a little bit quieter than last year, which is nice.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Purposefully.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, yeah.
Purposely, but we'll see
reset
what
and
happens.
reload, which is cool.
We'll see what happens throughout the year. But no, we're sort of continually, just trying to do our best work and sort of create good relationships, as I said, with planners and our couples and have a good time doing what we do and sort of basically just things are ticking along all right at the moment. Yeah, we're really just trying to really sort of continually establish and elevate our style and our brand. And
It's getting harder.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways to shoot, and like there's probably more videographers in the market now. Obviously, cameras are more accessible, so yeah, you just constantly got to be creative and just keep trying new things.
Yeah.
As I was getting to before, it's so easy for people to look at you and be like, "Oh, these guys are doing this. Let's do that with our brand as well." So that's why like, it's so hard for you guys, like leading the way to kind of constantly evolve, not having other people to look at and like looking at different, looking, okay, do I look at movies? Do I look at fashion overseas? Or like just trying to integrate different parts that way.
Yeah. No.
And I guess you don't really know what the next shot would be.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's until you shoot it, you go, oh, actually that worked.
Yeah.
and then
Just wing it and hope for the best.
A little while later, I see it in a film and go, oh, John nailed that.
Like, I nailed that.
Put the camera and hopefully it's in focus.
We spoke about it a little bit lately. Like, some of the way we shoot isn't necessarily like we don't think about the shot. We're just shooting what's happening. And I think that's probably the beauty of it. It's not really that, all right, we need to shoot it because of this. It's just we're in the moment and we do the thing and then we go, yeah, sweet. We're part of that moment. And then that's all captured. And then, yeah, like John said, when the sort of beauty of it really comes together when you edit it in the film, and then you can have those options to work off with two filmers. I think it all comes together as a nice package, having two people, two just super stoked people at your day, whether it's me, Chelsea, John, whoever it is. And then, just being creative.
Last one. Do you have to travel a lot with the types of weddings you're getting? Are you currently traveling a fair bit for work?
Yeah. So, generally speaking, Chelsea does all the travel weddings with me. And Elliot does most of the weddings, the sort of Sydney, Hunter Valley based weddings and sometimes South Coast. But anything further afar than that, Chelsea's pretty much locked into those. So yeah, we most weeks we're sort of traveling this year. We do have the first half of the year is less travel than the end of the year, but mid-year onwards is
there's certainly been a big pivot in the past few years, or at least the past 2 years of the couples that are inquiring and booking are further afar.
We'll go
as far as
anywhere
North
and
Queensland. We shot one up in Townsville last year. John's in Byron a fair bit, down on the South Coast.
Overseas a fair bit.
Yeah, there's a pretty big variety, which is cool.
And is that a good thing? Do you like look for more of that work, or you got a happy balance between kind of Sydney, Hunter, and travel at the moment?
It's just happened naturally that we've gone further afar. A lot of our inquiries have just naturally come from different areas now, and we're happy to go anywhere. We only book a limited number of weddings a year. Hence this year being a little bit quieter. We've purposely done that because we do have more travel involved and bigger weddings as well, that we want to make sure that, as Elliot said before, we can put our all into. We don't want to be doing doubles and triples and things like that. So we really want to do one a week and sort of cap it at sort of 30, 35 a year for us max. So being with the extra travel and Chelsea and I have got a few overseas trips and things like that locked in for the year. So it's when you want to you don't want to be going overseas, coming home, and then straight into a wedding sort of thing for us.
So that's ultimately to the detriment of the couple as well, really.
Yeah, like we do. That's one of our services is the fact that we keep everything in house and you got us from start to finish. And I think it's our responsibility to sort of not overextend ourselves and give ourselves the time that we're in the studio editing and things like that. We're not just running around, shooting every single day. So it's
you said it before as well. It might be that expectation for the couple, and maybe it's to our own detriment, but we love it. So
we'll go anywhere and everywhere, and if a couple wants to fly us anywhere in the world, we'll be there. So
love it. All right, so for now, where can people find you on socials and website?
Yeah,
and
just on Instagram is probably, an email is probably our website, so morelifefilms.com, or Instagram at morelifefilms.
Awesome.
Or TikTok as well. I know Chelsea's been experimenting with TikTok a bit, so a bit of fun.
Don't forget your solos.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, boys, thank you so much for coming on. Awesome chat. And really appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you for having us. Legend.
Awesome. Thanks for tuning in to the Wedco podcast. If you love this episode, don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a review or connect with us on social media. New episodes drop every week, so be sure to join us next time for more wedding inspiration, tips, and stories. Until then, happy planning, and we'll see you soon.